good afternoon. We were just had a briefing with Maya Cava and her team, as well as the Florida DEM director. We are very thankful for all the hard work that we've seen over this last day and a half, particularly by our first responders. They are searching nonstop, and they are searching and trying to save people's lives. And so we thank them for what they're doing. Those operations, of course, are ongoing. We have a lot of support. There's going to be more support that comes in with our federal partners, and we're grateful for that. We also thank everybody who's been involved in helping the people that have been displaced. I mean, there is fortunately a lot of people that got out of that building. They don't have a home anymore. And so the efforts of the community have really been fantastic. I know there's a couple charities that we've been telling people about. They've been getting a lot of support. We were also fortunate to get support from FEMA to provide individual assistance to people who've been impacted. We typically would not, probably with this, hit the threshold. Of course, you can waive that. The Biden administration waived that minimum threshold and is stepping up to the plate. Was able to speak to the FEMA director last night. She's been great, wants to be helpful. And then I just spoke about an hour ago with President Biden, and he reiterated his administration's full support. They're all in, and so we really appreciate having the support of the president. And the people of Florida really appreciate the president and his administration stepping up to help people who are in need. We're fortunate about these relief efforts on the private sector. I just spoke with one of our great companies here in Florida, Lennar Homes, and their CEO, Stuart Miller. They're doing $1 million for the relief efforts. And we have people from all across the country that are donating money to be able to help for both. We have the one at the Shul, which is the shul.org, and then you also have the one here for the Surfside Relief Fund. Both of those are great. We're going to be supporting both of them with some of our stuff, and I would just urge people to help out with that. We've working very closely with Mayor Cava, in addition to working with the federal government. As needs arise, the state's here to help, and the federal government's also here. And so we feel like we have all hands on deck to be able to assist with the search and rescue mission, and then obviously help people who have been displaced, and then help the families who still have loved ones who are unaccounted for. I mean, when tragedy strikes, it's a very difficult thing in any circumstances, but just speaking with a lot of these family members, when they're unaccounted for, it's a really, really difficult thing. They just don't know. And I know that the first responders are working around the clock to be able to get all those answers and to save as many lives as they can. But this has been a really, really difficult thing. And so I just thank the community for really coming together, both here in Surfside, Miami-Dade, and really throughout Florida and throughout the country. We really appreciate that. I've also been talking with Mayor Cava. We both agree we need a definitive explanation for how this could have happened. And that's an explanation that needs to be an accurate explanation. It's an explanation that we don't want to get wrong, obviously. But at the same time, I do think it's important that it's timely because you have a lot of families here. You have families that lost loved ones in this building collapse. They have a right to know. You have other folks who were able to get out safely, but then lost their homes. When we were walking out, one of the things that they were cleaning up were all the family photos that would be strewn around. And so they have a right to know as well. And then I think there's a lot of other people throughout this community and really throughout Florida who want to know, well, how could a building just collapse like that? And so I think it's a really important thing. And so we've said whatever the local efforts are underway with that, the state will support whatever we can to do this right, but also to do it timely so that we get the answers to the families and that we get the answer to the people of Florida. And so they have our support for that. And when I spoke with the president, he indicated if we need support on that investigatory end, they would send personnel as well. So thanks for everybody who stepped up. We have a lot of heroes in our midst here over the last day and a half, and God bless them. And also just thank people who've sent their thoughts and prayers and have made donations. I think that when you see something like this, it really is a unique type of tragedy to have in the middle of the night half of a building just collapse like that. And it's tough. It's been gut-wrenching for an awful lot of people. But I'll tell you, nobody is quitting here, and we are going to stand by those families, and we're going to stand by everyone that's been displaced. You can guarantee that. Mayor?
Thank you, Governor. Fix this for you. Now Miami-Dade County Mayor Diana Levine-Cabo.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, Governor. Thank you to our chairman, our commissioners, to our local electeds. This has been an extraordinary day and a half. And I want to start by saying that our hearts are with our first responders who have been going in, desperately seeking people, motivated to find them, hopeful that they will find them, and confident that their efforts will pay off. And to the families who are suffering and waiting and wondering for wanting news of their loved ones, our hearts are with you. We are going to work as hard as we possibly can, leave no stone unturned, and you can see the activity. These first responders are going in through tunnels. They're working from the top. They're working from the bottom. It has to be done very, very carefully. They can't dislodge pieces of debris that could injure them in the process. They can't dislodge debris that could possibly make it more difficult to continue the search. So we are fully behind them as they do this daring and brave work, and we are making sure that they are safe so that they can continue these efforts. I want to say as well that these are the best first responders in the world. These are the ones that are sent to trouble spots. They've been to 9/11, they've been to Haiti, they've been wherever there is a disaster, and they are bringing that expertise to bear right here for our residents, for our visitors in Surfside. So while we continue to do everything we can locally and with the support of all of these jurisdictions, we are so grateful that FEMA has come to our side. We have this extraordinary decision by President Biden to move those dollars and that support forward expeditiously, waiving the minimum amount that has to be generated before the support will kick in. And with the emergency declaration by our governor, we're able to move forward. So this is very, very important. It's important to our search and rescue efforts. It's important to our rubble debris removal. It's critical for the families who are going to need help in the long term as they recover. So I think you all know the numbers have not changed since the morning. We have 127 people that are accounted for, 159 that have been identified as possibly being on the site, unaccounted for, and we have 4, sadly, who we have lost and we will be burying. So we are now providing briefings to the waiting families every 4 hours in the Family Reunification Center. They are getting detailed descriptions of the operation so they can really understand what's at stake and how critical it is that we proceed cautiously and that they have patience. We're very grateful to everyone who's contributed. Lennar Corporation, that's extraordinary. We've set up a fund that's already generated $100,000 from donations, and we welcome that support. Aquí estamos día y medio después de la tragedia y estamos trabajando más fuerte que nunca con nuestros bomberos, haciendo búsqueda y rescate, con los perros, con sonar, con cámaras, y ellos tienen esperanza. Ellos son los expertos en el mundo de este tipo de rescate, y ellos están listos para encontrar más personas vivos. Entonces, como ellos tienen esperanza, también nosotros tenemos esperanza. Y también estamos unidos con las municipalidades, el Estado y el gobierno federal con los recursos que necesitamos para seguir haciendo todo que podemos, pero tenemos que seguir con precaución para proteger las vidas de nuestros bomberos. Ellos están tomando riesgo enorme y nosotros estamos con ellos, y tenemos que tener paciencia. mientras que hacen su trabajo. Y especialmente estamos muy contentos con la decisión del presidente mandar los recursos de FEMA rápido para seguir adelante con el rescate y también con la basura adelante en el sitio, limpiar el sitio, y finalmente para la ayuda para las familias que están esperando. Gracias al presidente, al gobernador, a nuestros municipales, y aquí estamos listos seguir con esperanza, encontrar personas. Gracias.
And now the chairman of the commission, Jose Pepe Diaz.
Good afternoon. I want to thank, far and foremost, God for giving us the ability to do the work that we're doing and for everything that's working out for us. Besides that, I want to start out with our president and say thank you to him and his whole team and everything that's involved on the federal side, including our senators that have called in and been here, and of course our congressional people. Also, I want to thank publicly, Governor, thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for finding the companies that are willing to donate and put their part into helping, and that's incredible. On behalf of County Commission, we all want to thank you and your team. Besides that, Mayor, thank you for the work you're doing. As far as my colleagues too, we're all working together as a community to do the very best we can. We are blessed that we have the best team, one of the best teams in the world, our USAR and fire team that is constantly working since the moment this started, and they continue on. They do not stop. They work around the clock in the rain and the lightning, and small fires have taken place. They haven't stopped searching, and they'll continue to do so. This is the kind of people that really step up to the plate when the problem is happening. Everybody's running in one direction. They're running into the problem. So we're blessed to have this kind of people within our community and doing what they're doing for all of us. To the families, our heart goes out to them. They just want to see or hear of a solution and hope for the best for their family members. Our people are working as hard as they can to try to find their loved ones. And trust me, they're putting their lives in peril to try to make that happen. And we're very proud of them and very thankful for them. And that is something that's very important to be said. And to the community out there that is giving so much, that's constantly donating and helping those first responders that are here working tirelessly, and so much in donations, we want to thank them too. Thank you to so many around the nation and around the world that have expressed help to help us with this situation. Nobody thought that this could happen here in Miami Beach. But ladies and gentlemen, we will know, as the governor said and as the mayor said, what took place, how it happened, and so this will never happen again within our community. Quiero darle las gracias al presidente que ha dado las donaciones y afirmó la declaración de emergencia, también a nuestros senadores federales y los congresistas también que han sido parte, también a nuestro gobernador que ha estado presente en todo momento, ha mandado su gente aquí para ayudarlos a los otros. No solamente han ido con él y su personaje, pero también ha buscado dinero privado para ayudar, y ya consiguió $1 millón de una compañía, Lenard, dentro de nuestra comunidad en el estado de Florida. Para nosotros es un orgullo tener un equipo así, también con todos los comisionados que están conjunto conmigo, para buscar la forma de trabajar juntos, para buscar la solución eventualmente a lo que nos sucedido a nosotros. Es un orgullo de poder tener un equipo como los bomberos que tenemos nosotros, que son reconocidos en el mundo entero por la labor que ellos hacen. Son los mejores en este tipo de circunstancias. Ellos están trabajando día y noche y no paran para la llovizna, no paran para los rayos, nada. Ellos están buscando la forma de buscar personas vivas en estos momentos. Son personas que, verdad, se merecen la gratitud, como dijo el gobernador, son héroes en nuestra comunidad. Son conjuntos. Se está trabajando como un equipo grande para buscar una solución a este problema que tenemos delante nosotros, trabajando en conjunto. Pero quiero también darle las gracias a nuestra comunidad, una comunidad que ha salido adelante, que ha traído todo lo que ha podido traer para ayudar, dinero, han traído víveres, cosas para ayudar a todos aquellos que están aquí trabajando. Para nosotros, de nuevo, es un orgullo tener una comunidad como la que tenemos nosotros. Y también a todos los que viven, que están nacionalmente y federalmente, que también están ayudando, afuera de este país, que están dando ayuda, y también nacionalmente. Le quiero dar las gracias por parte de la comisión de Miami-Dade County y su alcaldesa también. Gracias.
Por favor, la comunidad está tan consternada. ¿Cómo llegan al número 259?
Thank you, Commissioner. Now the Vice Chair of the Commission, Oliver Gilbert.
Today I actually wore my 305 t-shirt. Wore my 305 t-shirt because I wanted to remind us who we were and how strong we are and how we get through things. But this is a tragedy, but we've gotten through tragedies before. And how we get through it is like this. It's like having a governor who steps up and steps in. It's having a president who cares and leads with his heart. It's having a mayor who's out here tirelessly, a chairman and a commission who all stand together, commissioners from every part of this county, people all over this county, people all over this country actually praying. This is independent of the rain and the overcast. I understand how dark this day is. I understand the possibility exists that it gets darker, that it gets sadder. But we have to always understand that we can get through anything together. And that's this. We wrap ourselves around those families with our resources and our love and our effort and our work, because we're going to keep working and we're going to keep praying. That's what this community does. That's what's gotten us through hurricanes. That's what's gotten us through every tragedy we've ever experienced. Our togetherness, our sense of community. I'm happy to have a president, a governor, a mayor, a chairman of the county commission. We all understand that. We all understand that it's important that you all understand it. And understand that your role in this, if you can hear my voice, please donate, help these families. But most of all, please pray. Please pray. Look, my dad was a Baptist pastor. The fervent prayers of the righteous availeth much. That means if we all pray and we all agree and we all actually believe, it can actually do something for us. But let's make it do something for us. How do I say that in Spanish? Rezan. Oren, por favor.
There you go.
There you go. All right.
There you go.
You said it very well.
Thank you, Vice Chairman. And now Commissioner Raquel Regalado.
Bueno, yo voy a empezar en español. Primero, muchas gracias por la oportunidad. Yo creo que muchos de mis colegas han hablado sobre cómo esta tragedia ha unido a nuestra comunidad, y yo creo que cada vez que tenemos una tragedia eso ocurre. En las últimas horas nuestra alcaldesa, el gobernador y el presidente Biden ha declarado esto un estado de emergencia, ¿no? Y yo creo que eso es importante, más cuando escuchamos los lamentos de las familias, ¿no? Las personas tienen muchas preguntas sobre esta tragedia y nosotros también. Nosotros somos los primeros que queremos darles respuesta, pero a la misma vez tenemos que recordarle que este es un sitio de peligro, ¿no? Que nuestros bomberos y nuestros policías se están poniendo en peligro cada momento que están dentro de este sitio, ¿no? Esta tragedia se pudiera complicar y hemos hecho todo lo posible para no tener esa complicación, y por eso le pedimos paciencia, ¿no? Le pedimos que entiendan que es una situación muy compleja y que nosotros y los profesionales estamos trabajando juntos para darle a nuestra comunidad todas las respuestas, desde, como estaba diciendo el gobernador, sobre la estructura, hasta las preguntas que se han hecho sobre los cambios en los números, ¿no? Cosas tan complejas hasta que aquí no se podían rentar, pero hay personas que estaban rentando, ¿no? Y eso ha cambiado lo que era inicialmente nuestro entendimiento de cuántas personas estaban en este sitio, pero yo creo que lo más importante es que sepan que se está haciendo todo lo posible para responder a las preocupaciones de la comunidad, y se está haciendo de una manera muy unida, donde todo el mundo está haciendo su parte, ¿no? Para asegurar que esto sea una tragedia limitada a lo que hemos visto hasta este momento. Really quickly, I think all my colleagues have spoken about the unity and the tremendous opportunity that this has shown in terms of our community coming together. A few hours ago, our mayor, our governor, and also the president declared this a state of emergency, and that's important for everyone to understand. This is still a very dangerous site, and we're with the families, and we want to give them answers, just like we want to give the community answers, and we want answers ourselves, and we've been very clear about that internally and to the public, but this is still a very dangerous place. We had an initial tragedy. That tragedy is compounded through the search and recovery effort, and we want to ensure that it does not become more tragic because we do not take the right path. So we ask you to be patient, to understand that this is an ongoing process. The weather doesn't help. The nature of the tragedy doesn't help. but we're doing everything in our power, and we thank our locals for helping, the cities that have stepped up, the commissioners, obviously FEMA, the governor. It's really been an enormous show of support, and we're really grateful for that, and that's why we ask you for your patience and your understanding. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. And now from the Florida Division of Emergency Management, Kevin Guthrie.
Thank you. I'll be very brief. First of all, I want to thank the governor for his leadership and stepping up and just, giving me the authority to get whatever we need to get from the state resources here to help handle the situation. I will give an update real quick on state resources. So we have mobilized through our state fire marshal's office a couple of extra urban search and rescue task forces across the state, as well as we put Florida Task Force 2, City of Miami, into the fight this morning. We do have the Department of Economic Opportunity that will be coming in with some of their resources for some of the businesses that may be impacted by what's going on, the shut down streets and whatnot, and they'll be going door to door to some of those businesses throughout the day tomorrow and over on Sunday. The last thing that I'll update on the resources are from the federal side. On the federal side, we do have about 20, give or take, FEMA personnel that will be coming in somewhere between 3 o'clock this afternoon and into tomorrow, that will again start to assist with volunteer organizations, some of the obviously urban search and rescue oversight and so on. So those are the things that are coming in. I'd be remiss. We are going to open up an insurance village through the Chief Financial Officer's office over at the Family Reunification Center. And again, that'll be targeted to the individuals that are at the 8777 Collins Avenue address. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. There are no new updates right now from public safety since the briefing this morning. However, we are going to be answering questions. Please raise your hands. You'll be selected, and then we'll take it from there so we can be assertive. Go ahead, sir.
Could you speak up a little bit, please?
Yes, for those of us who've been spending time with the families, we've been reporting a lot of frustration, mounting frustration. I just spent some time with a family that rented an apartment at the complex right next to the site, and they just kept stressing how unhappy they are because they haven't seen anybody on the mountain, on the top of the rubble. We explained that most of it is happening from underneath, but they're just a lot of families are very unhappy with the numbers, and visually they don't see what they want to see, I guess. So if you could address that.
Yes, no. I assure you we're doing everything that we can. We've been actively searching from the minute this incident occurred. Several different obstacles. This type of situation, we're looking at optimal for survivability. And so that's where we've had several teams, Florida Task Force 1, 35 of the 80 members searching. And we've been mainly under the main pile, shoring up areas, trying to find void spaces, looking to see if we can find survivors. We've been sweeping the pile remotely using sonar devices, our cameras, our dogs, looking for any type of possible survivors, and that's kind of drives where we're searching. I understand the frustration, and I assure you, we're doing everything that we can. We're honored, Miami-Dade Fire Rescue, Florida Task Force 1. We're one of the best in the nation, and we've been nonstop working hard and doing all that we can, trying to find everyone's loved ones, and we will continue doing that.
I'd like to add, I would just like to add that if I could personally go out and dig, I would dig. But that is not safe for me or for the first responders or for the people that may still be alive. So this is the safe way to do it. And people, of course, are desperate and they're willing to go out and dig themselves, but that is simply not possible. It's not for lack of personnel. We have all the personnel that we need. We're doing this in the way that is preserving lives.
Alcaldesa, el gobernador dijo hace un momento en su declaración que aunque obviamente están buscando sobrevivientes entre los escombros, aquí también hay otra prioridad y es darle una explicación a los familiares de esas personas que están desaparecidas. ¿Cómo pasó esto? ¿Cómo se pudo haber caído medio edificio? Usted es la cabeza del gobierno en el condado. ¿Qué habla usted con el gobernador sobre ese tema? Y obviamente, ¿qué le dice usted a las familias? ¿Se va a llegar a las consecuencias?
Miriam, lo más importante en este momento es salvar vida. Estamos enfocados en búsqueda y rescate. Y eso es lo más importante de todo. Mientras todos estamos mirando el edificio, colectando evidencia, pero el momento de seguir con la investigación es después. No podemos seguir ahora, es peligroso. Tenemos que seguir adelante buscando vidas.
Mayor, could you discuss, please, the definition of unaccounted for, starting with what universe you're beginning with, what number?
Give me 1 second.
Okay.
Erika, el problema es que, como dijo la alcaldesa, en este momento es salvar vidas. Y como dijo el señor que estaba preguntando, que lo que quieren ver las personas es que están trabajando para salvar las vidas. No te creas que no hay ingenieros ahí mirando las cosas, porque están. Tenemos ingenieros del gobierno federal, estatal, la persona estatal, local, del condado, están mirando, pero tenemos un proceso, y ese proceso, ahora sí te lo digo, la alcaldesa, el gobernador, todo lo que estamos envueltos acá, este proceso se va a saber exactamente qué sucedió. Y vamos hasta el punto de lo que se va a llevar a cabo. Así que por ese lado, no se preocupen, pero es un proceso todo.
Yeah, and let me just say in English, the most important thing right now is to save lives. And that is exactly what we are doing. But as the chairman said, we have structural engineers on site. We have structural engineers from the state, from the federal government, all of them involved. And when it is time to launch the investigation, we will. We all want answers. We all need answers. We never want this to happen again. The question, how do we explain 100? Yes.
What number do you start with? What has to happen for you to deduct one?
Correct,
to add one?
correct. So when we say there are 157 unaccounted individuals, that is people that may or may not have been on the site. So those are people that maybe lived there, but we don't know whether they were there at the time. So we are waiting for confirmation always of the exact numbers. People may materialize. We may identify them. They may be out of contact, and then we take them off that list. Obviously, if we find them, they are taken off the list. So it's not only people who may be affected by this tragedy. It may be people that we've been told maybe people are calling in. Maybe this person was there. That's not to say they were definitely there.
It was 159 yesterday. Is it now 157?
What's the... Huh? I misspoke. It's 159. Any possibility that they were there, they're included. So then we do our very best to find where they might be, and then we can take them off the list. Yes.
Okay, last question here, because I know she...
Louder.
Speak up.
Okay, we can.
I was hoping that maybe the fire department could expand on the location where the individuals were found tonight. Maybe describe some of the efforts that were required to recover individuals.
Yeah, so as we're going through, there's different strategies that we attempt. Starting off, obviously, we're looking where we feel there's that void space, where we think that there's the greatest potential, and that's kind of where we located. That's where we've been going through the parking garage underneath, tunneling under shore and looking for that area. Different areas now, as you see, we have more heavy equipment coming through. You see us working more on top of the pile as well. And so that's where some of the individuals, have been found as we're going through it, locating, bringing in heavy equipment, doing different aspects. So, I can't give you specifics of where we located, but we are, coming up with a search plan per se, where we develop grids and we go through different areas. But again, what drives that is different things that we see. When we use our dogs and different signals, when we're using sonar equipment, different signals, using our cameras, different signals, as well as just when we're in there and searching and what we come across. So that's what we've established so far, and we'll continue moving forward, hopefully with some form of positive outcome.
Following up, are there any air quality concerns, and are there any special equipment that first responders are using because of those concerns?
Yes, absolutely. We have air respirators that we use when we're definitely underneath and we're doing certain components. We bring in vent fans, so we definitely try to circulate, again, in minimal space. So when we find a void space and we find different opportunities, we definitely will try to circulate air through there to assist with that.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
And now we're going to have a Creole translator for a Creole community.